stop, listen. Feel the silence underneath your thoughts, because what you're about to hear has the power to change the way you see everything. For as long as humans have walked this earth, one question has followed us like a shadow, a question we carry quietly through every heartbeat, every triumph, every tear. What happens when we die? We build cities, write books, fall in love, raise children, chase dreams, and yet in the back of our minds there is always a whisper. It will all end. We pretend not to hear it. We distract ourselves with noise and light, with glowing screens and endless scrolling. But late at night, when the world grows quiet, the whisper grows louder. What waits for me beyond this life? Will I vanish or awaken? No scientist can silence this question. No machine can measure the soul, and no amount of wealth can protect us from that final moment when our breath slows and our eyes grow still. But imagine, just for a moment, that someone had mapped what comes next, not guessed, not hoped, mapped. Imagine an ancient hidden text, born high in the silent mountains of Tibet, carried through centuries by wandering monks and whispering mystics, copied by hand in candlelit monasteries, protected as though the fate of humanity depended on it. A book said to guide the soul through death itself. A book that claims death is not the end, but a doorway, a passage into unseen realms where your consciousness continues its journey. This is the Tibetan Book of the Dead, a name given to it by the West, but known to the Tibetan masters as the Bardo Thodol, liberation through hearing in the intermediate state. To read this book is to look directly into the heart of death, and to see, perhaps for the first time, that death is not darkness, but light too bright for unprepared eyes. Centuries ago, as empires rose and crumbled far below, a visionary teacher sat among the peaks of the Himalayas. His name was Padmasambhava, a wandering sage, a spiritual alchemist who brought the teachings of awakening from India into the hidden valleys of Tibet. Padmasambhava spoke of bardos, liminal states, threshold realms that appear not only after death, but throughout life itself. He taught that the moment of death is not the end of consciousness, but a moment of astonishing clarity, when the soul is freed from the weight of the body and stands face to face with the truth of what it really is. His disciples listened in silence, the wind rattling the temple flags, and began recording his words. Those teachings were passed down through generations of masters, eventually becoming the text we now call the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It was never meant for casual reading. It was read aloud to the dying as their bodies fell silent, guiding their minds through the stages of the after-death journey, like a lantern leading them through a vast and moonless night. And here is where the story begins to fracture your understanding of reality. Because what this book describes is not merely poetic metaphor or religious fantasy. Again and again, modern people who have been declared clinically dead, who have been revived moments later, describe experiences that echo the ancient words written in this book centuries ago. They speak of leaving their bodies and floating above them. They describe a radiant white light that feels more real than waking life. They speak of being greeted by loving beings or of being shown their lives in perfect detail. They describe peace. They describe clarity. They describe going home, and then they return. Science cannot explain how the brain, silent and starved of oxygen, produces these vivid journeys, and yet thousands report the same pattern, the same light, the same overwhelming love. What are we to make of this? Is it just the brain's last flicker of activity, a comforting illusion as the mind disintegrates? Or could these people be glimpsing the very realms the Tibetan masters spoke of long before modern science existed? Could death be not an end but a return? If this is true, it changes everything. It means the essence of who you are, your consciousness, does not end when your heart stops. It steps across a threshold and enters the bardos, mysterious landscapes of mind, where thoughts become worlds and emotions become forms, where fear becomes shadow and love becomes light. And here is the most startling truth of all. The Tibetan Book of the Dead says you are moving through bardos right now. Every ending in your life, every time you shed an old identity, every time your world dissolves and you stand in the silence silence before something new begins. You are touching the same mystery you will meet at death. You have already been practicing dying your entire life. To make peace with it, to let it strip away the illusions that keep you asleep so you can finally awaken. Imagine if death was not a wall but a mirror. Imagine if it showed you not an ending, but the truth of who you have always been. This is where our journey begins. We are about to walk the ancient path through the Bardos, the secret realms between lives, to see what waits for us beyond the final breath. But before we can walk through death, we must first understand what is dying. And to do that, we must explore the mystery of consciousness itself. Part 2, the nature of consciousness. What are you really? Not your name, not your job, your age, your history, not even the body you move through the world with. Strip it all away. The layers of roles and memories, the story you tell yourself about who you are, and something remains. Awareness, the silent witness that has watched everything from behind your eyes since the moment you were born. This is where our journey must go next. Because to understand death, you must first understand what it is that could possibly survive it. Modern science tells us that consciousness is simply a byproduct of the brain, an accidental flicker of awareness produced by billions of neurons firing in complex patterns. In this view, you are a temporary pattern in wet gray matter, a fragile spark that vanishes the moment the machine breaks down. But this explanation has never truly satisfied the human spirit, because you can feel that you are more than chemistry. You've sensed it in moments of pure stillness, when time seems to dissolve and you are simply aware. You've touched it in dreams so vivid they felt more real than waking life. You've glimpsed it when grief shattered your world, and yet some part of you watched from a still center while the storm raged through you. That still center is who you truly are. And here is where ancient Tibetan wisdom offers a radically different vision. According to the Tibetan masters, consciousness does not arise from the brain. It gives rise to the brain. The mind is not inside the body. The body is inside the mind. They teach that consciousness is not a thing, not an object, but the luminous field in which all things appear. Your thoughts arise within it. Your sensations arise within it. Even your sense of being a person arises within it. And when the body falls away, this awareness remains, vast, clear, and boundless. The Tibetans call this the clear light of the mind, the ground of all experience, the eternal awareness that was never born and can never die. To modern ears, this may sound impossible, yet slowly science is catching up. Neuroscientists studying near-death experiences have been shaken by what they've found. People whose brains show no measurable activity sometimes report clear, structured, vivid experiences, as if their minds became sharper when their brains went silent. They describe floating above their own bodies, watching doctors attempt resuscitation from the ceiling. They describe passing through a tunnel of light, meeting radiant beings, or seeing their lives unfold like a panoramic tapestry. They describe a peace beyond words. And here's what's most extraordinary. Many return with knowledge they could not have known. Details of what was said in the room, what medical tools were used, even what happened far away while they were clinically dead. If consciousness ends when the brain shuts down, how can this be? More and more researchers are daring to consider a once taboo possibility. Maybe the brain does not create consciousness. Maybe it filters it, like a radio tuning into a signal that already exists. The brain may simply be a receiver for the mind, not its source. And when the radio breaks, the signal does not disappear. It simply continues, unbound and infinite. This idea is shaking the foundations of neuroscience, but it is exactly what Tibetan mystics have said for over 1,000 years. And here's where things become even more profound. The Bardo Thodol teaches that when you die, this filtered signal, your awareness, is released from the confines of the body like a flame leaping from a lamp. At first, you may not even realize you are dead. You will see your surroundings exactly as before. You will see loved ones crying. You will try to speak, but no sound will come. Your hand will pass through solid walls like mist. Then a brilliant light will appear, so radiant that most souls recoil from it. This is the clear light, your true nature, the pure awareness beyond all form. If you can recognize it, if you can merge with it in that moment, you are instantly liberated, freed from the wheel of birth and death. But most do not. They are pulled back by the gravity of their own fears, desires, and unfinished stories. They drift into dreamlike realms of shifting visions, forgetting who they are. They are shown peaceful deities and wrathful ones, symbols of their own mind, their own buried emotions made visible. If they cling to these visions, they are drawn back into another lifetime. But if they see through them, they awaken. This is the astonishing claim of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Death is not an end. It is a mirror. It shows you the shape of your own mind. And what you see depends on what you have cultivated while alive. If you have lived in fear, you may see terrifying shadows. If you have lived with love, you may see radiant beings. But in truth, all of it is you. Every vision, every sound, every realm, all are projections of your own consciousness, unfolding before you like a dream. And just as in a dream, the moment you realize you are dreaming, you become free. Think about what this means. It means the purpose of life is not to avoid death, but to prepare for it. Not with fear, but with clarity. Every act of kindness, every moment of mindfulness, every time you choose love over fear, you are training your mind for the moment when the body falls away. You are preparing to recognize the clear light when it appears, and to walk into it without flinching. Imagine living like that. Imagine facing life's storms with the calm, knowing that even death cannot touch what you truly are. Would you still fear endings? Or would you see them as gateways? And here is the deeper revelation. You do not have to wait for death to touch this awareness. The Tibetan masters say the clear light is here in every moment. It shines behind your thoughts, behind your fears, behind the noise of the world. You catch glimpses of it in moments of deep presence. A sunset that stops you mid-step, the hush of snowfall, the silent awe of holding a newborn. In those moments, time vanishes. Your sense of me melts away, and only awareness remains, vast, radiant, and still. That is the same light you will meet at death. It has been here all along, waiting for you to notice. This changes everything. Because if your deepest self is this timeless awareness, then death is not your enemy. It is simply the falling away of everything you are not. And when that happens, when you are stripped of every mask, every fear, every story, what remains is what has always been here. You, infinite, unbound, free. Part 3. The journey through the Bardos. Imagine the final moment of your life. The heartbeat slows, the breath becomes shallow, and then everything changes. You are no longer in your body, and yet you are still aware. This is the threshold of the Bardos, the intermediate states between life and whatever lies beyond. In Tibetan teachings, there are 3 main bardos: the bardo of the moment of death, the bardo of the experiencing consciousness, and the bardo of rebirth. Each is a realm, a test, a mirror reflecting the inner landscape of your mind. The first bardo, the moment of death. The first bardo is immediate. It begins the instant your body stops functioning. At first, there is confusion. Your senses, once so reliable, now betray you. You see your loved ones, hear familiar voices, but you cannot touch, cannot speak. Then a light appears. It is blinding, radiant, all-consuming. The first instinct of most souls is fear. We reach out, resist, and try to cling to what is familiar. Our body, our world, our identity. But the Tibetan texts instruct us differently. Recognize the light. Merge with it. This is your true self. This is the essence that cannot die. If you succeed in embracing it, liberation is immediate. You are free of the wheel of suffering, but if fear dominates, you are pulled onward into the visions of the next bardo, the second bardo, experiencing consciousness. Here, the mind becomes a painter, and your thoughts and emotions are the brush. Peaceful deities appear. They radiate love, compassion, understanding. You feel drawn toward them. They mirror the goodness cultivated during life. Then wrathful deities appear, terrifying, intense, chaotic. They are not enemies, they are projections of fear, guilt, and unhealed wounds. Every vision, every being, every moment in this bardo is a reflection of your own consciousness. You have a choice: cling to illusion and be reborn, or see through the veil and awaken. This is the most profound teaching of the bardo. The world you experience after death is shaped by the life you have lived. The third bardo, the bardo of rebirth. For those who do not merge with the clear light, the next bardo brings the process of rebirth. Here you experience glimpses of potential lives. You feel the pull of attachments, desires, and unfinished business. You are offered a choice. Which womb, which circumstances, which new life? The Tibetan masters say, every choice is reflective of the mind. Your karma, your intentions, your deepest habits all shape the journey forward. This is not punishment. It is instruction, a chance to learn, to grow, to perfect the mind for the next cycle. And yet, for those who recognize the true nature of consciousness, even this step can be transcended. For the one who awakens to the clear light, there is no rebirth, only freedom, only peace. The role of guidance. In every bardo, guidance matters. The Tibetan texts speak of spiritual guides who have mastered the bardos themselves. They are like navigators, helping souls steer through turbulent waters. Without guidance, even the most prepared mind can be pulled into fear or confusion. With guidance, even the faintest spark of recognition can ignite the liberation of a lifetime. This is why the Bardo Todol was designed not merely as a text, but as a roadmap, a practical manual to navigate the most intense transition imaginable, bringing the Bardo into life. You may be thinking, this is all fascinating, but how does it apply to me? The answer, it applies directly. Every moment of life is a miniature bardo. Every transition, loss, or challenge is a doorway to awakening. The Tibetan masters encourage us to practice mindfulness, staying present with each breath, each action, contemplation of impermanence, recognizing that every moment passes exchange of energy, sending out love, compassion, and healing. When you approach life like this, you train your mind for the ultimate journey. You learn to face death without fear because you are constantly practicing it while alive, experiencing liberation. Now, even before the body falls away, you can touch the clear light. Have you ever had a moment of absolute stillness, when the world fades away and only awareness remains? This is the same awareness you will meet in the bardos. The difference is preparation. By cultivating calm, presence, and courage, you will recognize it instantly when the time comes. You will not resist. You will not fear. You will merge. You will awaken. Death becomes not an enemy, but a teacher. Fear dissolves. Clarity arises. Love blossoms. The profound truth, the ultimate revelation is simple yet radical. You are not your body. You are not your story. You are consciousness, limitless, boundless, eternal. The bardos are mirrors. They reflect the life you have lived. The peace, the fear, the love, the attachments, all appear as visions. And in that reflection lies the opportunity to recognize who you really are. Takeaway for life. What if you lived each day as if it were a bardo? Every loss a lesson. Every joy a reflection of your own light, every breath an invitation to touch the eternal awareness within. Death is inevitable. Fear is optional. The Tibetan Book of the Dead teaches not just how to die, but how to live fully, to meet life and death with awareness, courage, and love. Closing invitation. As you walk through your own life, remember this: the same clear light that awaits at death is here now, in each moment, behind the noise, behind the fear, behind the illusions. Notice it, merge with it, live through it. Every challenge, every ending, every transition is a doorway, and through it you can awaken. Not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. Part 4. Living with death as a teacher. Imagine waking up each morning with the awareness that today could be your last. Not as a thought that scares you, but as a truth that frees you. Every breath, every heartbeat, every choice becomes sacred. Every moment carries meaning. Every interaction is an opportunity to awaken. This is the essence of practicing the bardos while alive, the art of mindful impermanence. Tibetan masters teach a simple yet profound truth. Everything is transient. Everything is fleeting. Your emotions, your possessions, your body, even your relationships and achievements. By truly embracing impermanence, you strip life down to what matters. The petty worries fade, the distractions fall away, and what remains is pure awareness. Picture this: you are walking through your day, and instead of rushing, reacting, or resisting, you pause. You notice the light through the trees, the smile of a stranger, the rhythm of your own breath. Every small detail becomes a teacher, a doorway, a bardo in miniature. The practice of exchange of energy. Another essential practice from the Tibetan teachings is the exchange of energy. Here's how it works. With every inhalation, you imagine drawing in the pain, suffering, and confusion of the world. With every exhalation, you send out love, healing, and clarity. This is not a metaphor. It is a way to transform your mind. Over time, your heart becomes soft, your awareness sharp, and your ability to navigate life's challenges grows. Even death itself becomes less terrifying. Because you've practiced letting go, even while alive. Facing fear before it arrives. Fear of death is universal, but the Tibetan teachings reveal a startling truth. Fear does not exist in reality. It exists only in our mind. Every fear you carry is a story, a projection, a shadow of attachment. By confronting these fears consciously, you train your mind to face the ultimate transition with courage. Imagine meeting life and death without panic, without regret, without grasping. Instead, with clarity, love, and stillness, seeing life as preparation. The Bardo teachings are radical because they blur the line between life and death. Every moment is preparation. Every challenge is a practice. Every relationship is a reflection. Consider this. What if you approached every conversation, every decision, every obstacle as though it were a step in the Bardo? You would notice more. You would care more. You would live more fully. You would stop wasting your life in fear and distraction. Meditation on the clear light. One of the most transformative practices is the meditation on the clear light of awareness. It is simple. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Observe your thoughts as if they are clouds passing in the sky. Behind every thought, behind every emotion, is a vast, unchanging presence. This is the same awareness you will encounter in the Bardos. By practicing it daily, you create a bridge between life and death. You are never truly unprepared. Your consciousness becomes a calm lake, reflecting the storms without being disturbed, transforming relationships. When you truly internalize these teachings, your relationships change. Conflicts lose their grip, grudges fade, love deepens. Not out of need, but out of awareness and choice. You no longer cling to people out of fear of loss. You treasure every interaction as an opportunity to awaken, an opportunity to recognize the divine in another being. Living boldly, freely, fully. The ultimate invitation of the Tibetan Book of the Dead is this: live as if death is your teacher, not your enemy. This does not mean morbid obsession. It does not mean detachment from life's beauty. It means living fully, choosing courage over comfort, choosing clarity over distraction, choosing love over fear. Imagine walking through your day with the knowledge that every moment is finite and therefore precious beyond measure. Death as the greatest teacher. The paradox is this: the more you acknowledge death, the more alive you become. The more you embrace impermanence, the more freedom you experience. The more you let go of fear, the more courage you summon. Death is not the enemy, it is the ultimate teacher, and life, in turn, becomes the greatest practice ground, the invitation. So I ask you, how would your life change if you treated every day as a bardo? If you recognized every challenge as a teacher, every ending as a doorway, every breath as a sacred opportunity? The Tibetan Book of the Dead is not just for the dying. It is a manual for living boldly, fully, and awake. You are not your body. You are not your fears. You are consciousness, limitless and eternal, and every moment is your chance to awaken to this truth. Closing words. Let the teachings of the bardos guide you. Let impermanence sharpen your awareness. Let love replace fear. Let clarity replace confusion. Step into life fully, knowing that the clear light is always within you. Fear nothing, hold nothing, live everything. Every breath, every thought, every heartbeat, an opportunity to awaken. This is the ultimate wisdom. This is the ultimate liberation. This is the path the Tibetan masters have walked for centuries. And now, it is yours. Part 5. Integrating the bardos into modern life. Imagine this. You wake up and the world feels the same, but inside you, everything has shifted. Every challenge, every interaction, every ordinary moment holds meaning beyond words. This is what happens when the bardos are no longer just a text to study, but a living practice, a lens through which you see your own life. Seeing life as a bardo. Every day is a miniature bardo. Traffic jams, work deadlines, arguments with friends or family, unexpected loss. Each moment is transitional, a chance to awaken, to observe, to act with clarity rather than reaction. When you practice this mindset, you begin to notice subtle shifts. You pause before speaking, considering not just words but the impact of your energy. You face difficulties with calm, knowing every obstacle is temporary. You find beauty in what once seemed mundane because everything is precious and fleeting. Life transforms when you treat it as a series of bardos. Cultivating daily awareness. Start with simple practices. Morning intention. Before your feet hit the floor, remind yourself, today is a gift. Today is finite. I will live with purpose. Breath as anchor. Throughout the day, return to your breath. Inhale the present moment. Exhale distraction and fear. Mindful observation. Notice the texture of objects, the sound of voices, the feeling of your body. Each moment is a doorway to awakening. These practices anchor you in presence, preparing you to meet life and death with curiosity and courage, transforming relationships through awareness. One of the most profound applications is in how we connect with others. When you internalize impermanence, arguments lose their powers of hurt. Conflicts become opportunities for growth and understanding. Gratitude deepens because every interaction is unique and temporary. Imagine treating every conversation as if it were your last. Not morbidly, not fearfully, but fully present, fully engaged, fully awake. Relationships no longer drain you. They enrich you. They teach you. Working with fear and attachment. The bardos teach, fear and attachment are illusions. They exist only in the mind that clings, the mind that refuses to see impermanence as liberation. By practicing conscious detachment, you begin to let go of material obsessions without losing joy, release old grudges and resentment without losing compassion, face uncertainty without panic, seeing it as part of life's natural flow. Fear of death, the ultimate unknown, becomes simply another teacher, another opportunity to awaken. Applying the clear light daily. The meditation on the clear light of awareness is not reserved for the dying. In your morning ritual, sit quietly. Close your eyes. See through thoughts and distractions to the vast, unchanging presence within. This practice trains you to respond, not react, to live intentionally, to see every challenge as a doorway, every joy as a gift, every moment as eternal. The same awareness you will encounter in the bardos can illuminate your daily life. It can guide you through heartbreak, loss, disappointment, and uncertainty. Facing modern life with ancient wisdom, modern life can feel chaotic, fragmented, and overwhelming. But when you approach it with the bardos in mind, deadlines become challenges to navigate, not sources of panic. Emotional turbulence becomes a teacher, not a trap. The fleeting nature of life becomes liberation, not despair. You carry death's lessons into your daily existence, turning ordinary life into profound opportunities for awakening. The radical freedom of living fully. What if every day you lived like the bardos were guiding you? You would speak with truth. You would act with compassion. You would pursue purpose relentlessly, unshaken by trivial fears. Life, once ordinary, becomes living sacredly. Every failure, every success, every ordinary breath carries weight and meaning. This is not about morbid obsession with death. It is about transforming fear into clarity, anxiety into awareness, and life into liberation. The ultimate invitation. The Tibetan Book of the Dead invites you to see death is not the end. Life is not meaningless. Every moment is a doorway. Every challenge is a teacher. Every ending is a beginning. Embrace this perspective. Live as if every day could be your last, but do so with joy, love, and courage. Because the truth is, you are not just your body. You are not your fears. You are consciousness itself, timeless and boundless, and every moment, if observed fully, can reveal this truth. Closing vision. Picture your life now. You move through the world with calm. You see impermanence not as tragedy, but as freedom. You approach challenges with clarity, love, and courage. Every day becomes a sacred practice. Every breath becomes a meditation. Every interaction becomes a mirror of awareness. The bardos are not just teachings for the dead. They are instructions for the living, and they invite you to awaken fully, now in this moment. Fear nothing. Hold nothing. Live everything. Every breath, every thought, every heartbeat, an opportunity to awaken, an opportunity to become free. This is the ultimate wisdom. This is the ultimate liberation. This is the path of the bardos. And now, it is yours. Part 6, Embracing the Teachings of the Bardos. Imagine a world where you no longer fear the unknown, where death and life are not opposites but partners in the dance of existence. This is the promise of the bardos, a practice that teaches us to live consciously, to see each moment as a gateway to liberation, and to meet death with courage instead of dread. Understanding fear. Fear is one of the greatest illusions. The fear of death, the fear of failure, the fear of loss. The bardos reveal that fear is simply a projection of the mind clinging to the temporary. It has no reality outside of our perception. When you internalize this, you begin to step into challenges without hesitation, speak your truth without anxiety, move through life with unshakable calm. Fear loses its power when you recognize it as a teacher, not a tyrant. Practicing mindful transition. The essence of the Bardo teachings is transition, morning to night, breath to breath, life to death. Every moment contains a micro-transition, a chance to awaken. When you pause to observe these transitions, life becomes a meditative practice. Notice the shift from stress to calm. Observe thoughts without judgment. Recognize the impermanence of all circumstances. This is not theory. It is a living experience. Daily practices for modern living morning awareness. Ritual. Begin each day by visualizing the clear light of awareness. Imagine merging with it, letting it guide your thoughts and actions. Exchange of energy. Inhale the pain and suffering of the world with compassion. Exhale love, healing, and light. Transform your energy, and in doing so, transform the world around you. Mindful engagement. Treat each conversation, each interaction, each task as if it were your last. Presence transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Evening reflection. At night, reflect on your day. Did you act from consciousness or reaction? Did you honor the impermanence of life? Transforming relationships. When we embrace impermanence, relationships evolve. Arguments soften. Conflicts become opportunities for growth. Gratitude deepens for each interaction. By approaching life as a series of bardos, every relationship becomes a teacher, every moment a lesson. Imagine holding no grudges. Imagine loving fully, without fear. Imagine communicating with clarity and compassion in every encounter. This is the power of conscious awareness. The role of death in life. Death is often seen as the ultimate end, but the bardos teach it is a transition, not termination. By contemplating death consciously, life itself transforms. Choices gain weight and clarity. Priorities realign with what truly matters. Joy deepens because we recognize the fleeting nature of all things. Imagine living as if every day could be your last, without fear, with presence, with love, with courage, facing modern challenges with ancient wisdom. Modern life is chaotic, fast, and often overwhelming, but when viewed through the lens of the bardos, stress becomes temporary, not permanent. Obstacles are teachers, not barriers. Life is not random, it is meaningful, even in struggle. By practicing conscious awareness, every micro-transition becomes a chance to awaken. Real-life applications. Consider the simple moments. A disagreement at work, a late-night argument with a loved one, losing something precious. Each is a bardo, each a transition, each a chance to awaken. Speak with compassion, not anger. Act with clarity, not reaction. Observe with presence, not distraction. Every loss, every challenge, every joy becomes an opportunity to align with the eternal presence within. The radical freedom of awareness. The more you practice, the more you realize. Life is a gift, not a burden. Challenges are opportunities, not curses. Death is liberation, not punishment. The bardos offer radical freedom. Freedom from fear, from attachment, from illusion. Imagine living fully awake, every breath conscious, every choice intentional, every relationship sacred. This is the essence of the teachings, a path not just to survive, but to thrive, to awaken, to be free. Closing vision. Picture yourself at the edge of life, calm, clear, awake. You have faced fear. You have embraced impermanence. You have transformed everyday life into a sacred practice. The bardos are not just about death. They are about living fully, loving deeply, and awakening completely. Fear nothing, hold nothing, live everything. Every breath is a doorway. Every moment is an invitation. Every day is a chance to awaken. This is the path of the bardos, and it is waiting for you, here and now. Part 7. The Science of Consciousness and Death. For centuries, death was a mystery, a boundary we feared, a door we avoided. But what if modern science is beginning to catch up with ancient wisdom? Neuroscientists, psychologists, and philosophers are exploring consciousness beyond the body. They study near-death experiences, meditation, and the subtle ways the mind transcends matter. Some findings are staggering. The mind can remain aware even as the body shuts down. Consciousness may not be confined to neural activity alone. Awareness could continue in ways we have yet to fully comprehend. This mirrors what the Tibetan Book of the Dead has been teaching for over 1,000 years. That life and death are transitions, that awareness is eternal, universal, and unbound. A new understanding of fear. Science and spirituality converge on one profound truth. Fear is optional. The brain reacts to the unknown with terror, but awareness can override instinct. By training consciousness, we can face death with calm instead of panic, move through suffering with clarity instead of confusion, transform the unknown into a teacher, not a threat. The Bardos are, in essence, a manual for mind training, ancient neuroscience for the soul, consciousness as a bridge. Imagine that every thought, every memory, every moment of awareness is a bridge between life and death, between the finite and the infinite, between fear and liberation. By cultivating mindfulness, meditation, and self-reflection, you begin to cross these bridges consciously. No longer a passive passenger, you become a navigator of existence, steering through transitions with awareness and grace. Practical applications in daily life. How does this ancient science meet modern life? Micro-meditations. Pause multiple times a day to notice your breath, your awareness, your presence. Each pause strengthens your ability to stay calm under pressure, embracing mortality. Reflect on death, not morbidly but intentionally. Ask yourself, what matters? What is fleeting? What is eternal? Awakening through challenges. Every stress, every conflict, every unexpected event is a mini bardo. Approach it consciously, and you transform stress into insight. By integrating these practices, life becomes a continuous awakening, and death loses its terror. The power of acceptance. Acceptance is not surrender. It is the recognition that everything is transitory, and in that transience lies freedom. Let go of attachment to outcomes. Release the need to control. Stand fully present in every moment. This is the radical freedom the Bardos promise, liberation here and now, not somewhere after death. Bridging science and spirituality. Science may measure neurons, brain waves, and physiological responses, but it cannot fully capture awareness itself. The Tibetan teachings do not fear what science explores. They illuminate it. By practicing conscious awareness, you align with both the timeless wisdom of the ancients, the emerging discoveries of modern research. This fusion allows you to live a life both meaningful and magnificent, grounded in presence and truth. A vision for the future. Imagine humanity embracing this perspective. Fear diminishes. Compassion increases. Life is celebrated, not endured. Every death becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every breath becomes a doorway to a higher awareness. The Bardos are not only about death, they are about transforming life, moment by moment, into awakening. Part 8. Mastering the Art of Living Through Death. Imagine waking each morning with the profound awareness that every moment could be your last, not as a source of fear, but as a gift, a chance to live with unmatched clarity, courage, and presence. This is not theoretical. The Tibetan Book of the Dead teaches that by confronting death consciously, we learn to live more fully. Every breath, every step, every interaction becomes infused with purpose. Every challenge is transformed into a teacher, every ending into a beginning. The practice of mindful transition. In Tibetan philosophy, the Bardos, transitional states, exist not only at death, but in life. Losing a job, ending a relationship, facing illness. Each is a mini bardo. Each invites you to let go of attachment, judgment, and fear. Each presents the opportunity to witness your own mind with calm awareness. By learning to navigate these micro-transitions, we prepare for the ultimate passage. We train ourselves to remain centered, alert, and compassionate in the face of the unknown, the guide within. The Bardo teachings emphasize the role of a guide, not only external teachers, but your own higher self. This inner guide whispers truths when fear rises. It points to the clear light of consciousness that is always present. It reminds you that you are not merely your thoughts, emotions, or fears. You are awareness itself. Through meditation and mindful reflection, you cultivate this inner navigator, a steady presence amidst life's chaos, seeing through illusions. One of the deepest lessons of the Bardos is discerning reality from illusion. Every thought, every judgment, every expectation is like a shadow in the mind. Fear magnifies these shadows, making them appear real. Awareness dissolves them, revealing the clear light of your own consciousness. When you witness illusions without clinging or aversion, you gain freedom. You stop being a prisoner of circumstances and become the author of your experience, integrating fearlessness into daily life. How do we take these profound teachings off the meditation cushion and into reality? Pause and observe. Each time fear, anger, or anxiety arises, pause, breathe, observe, recognize it as transitory. Embrace change. Life is impermanent. The more we resist, the more we suffer. The more we accept, the more we awaken. Act with intention. Every choice matters. Every interaction carries potential for insight, love, and growth. By applying these principles consistently, the mind becomes resilient, clear, and unshakable, even in uncertainty. The liberation of consciousness. The ultimate promise of these teachings is profound. Liberation in life and death. Not a distant, mystical promise, not an abstract ideal, a tangible, lived experience accessible to anyone willing to face the truth of impermanence. Through awareness, meditation, and the guidance of the Bardos, you learn to release fear of death, embrace life fully, move through transitions with clarity and grace. Death transforms from an enemy into a teacher, a companion, a guide. A new relationship with mortality. Imagine approaching every day as a rehearsal for the final passage. You greet challenges with courage. You meet uncertainty with calm. You encounter others with compassion. By reframing mortality as a teacher, life itself becomes rich, meaningful, and transformative. The Bardos invite us to live intentionally, consciously, and fearlessly, here and now. Bridging ancient wisdom and modern understanding. Science may describe the mechanics of the brain, but it cannot measure the depth of awareness. Meditation and mindfulness reveal the mind's subtle capacities. Neuroscience uncovers the ways consciousness interacts with the body. Together, they illuminate a truth the ancients always knew. You are more than your physical form. Every insight from the Bardos aligns with what modern explorers of consciousness are discovering. Life is a journey, not a destination. Death is not an end, but a passage into the unknown with clarity and courage. Part 9. Living through the Bardos. Practical wisdom. Imagine moving through life with the awakened eyes of a meditator, seeing the hidden currents of impermanence beneath every moment. Each day is no longer routine. It is a rehearsal for liberation. Tibetan teachings call this the art of living through the Bardos. It is the practice of recognizing transition, not as threat, but as opportunity. The daily practice of awareness. Morning reflection. Begin each day by reminding yourself, today is finite, today is precious. Every task, conversation, and thought carries weight. This isn't morbidity. This is clarity, mindful observation. Notice how thoughts arise. Notice how fear, desire, and attachment shape your reactions. Each emotion is like a wave on the ocean. You are the ocean itself, immovable and vast. Integration of lessons. After every encounter or challenge, ask, what did this teach me about impermanence? About attachment? About presence? Life becomes a classroom, and every experience a teacher. Embracing mini-deaths. The Bardos exist in daily life as micro-transitions, a relationship ending, a dream not realized, a sudden failure. Each is a mini-death, an invitation to awaken. When you accept these small endings with grace and courage, you prepare the mind for the ultimate transition. Imagine meeting each moment with this understanding. Every loss is a gateway, every change a teacher. Fear begins to dissolve, resistance fades, and the mind finds unshakable centeredness, the inner guide. The teachings emphasize the guide, but this guide is not always external. Your inner presence, your deep awareness, acts as navigator. It speaks in silence. It points to the clear light of consciousness. It reminds you, you are not the waves, you are the ocean. Practicing this daily builds a resilience that cannot be shaken by the storms of life. Seeing beyond illusion. The Bardos teach a radical truth. Most suffering comes from illusion. Fear is a mirage. Desire is fleeting. Identity is a construct. Through meditation and presence, you learn to see clearly. What once seemed terrifying becomes teacher and ally. What once seemed permanent melts into transient beauty. This is not abstract philosophy. It is a roadmap for life, teaching you to act from clarity, not fear. Daily exercises for liberation. 1. Breath awareness. Focus on each inhale and exhale. See thoughts, fears, and distractions as clouds passing through the sky of awareness. 2. Compassion. Exchange. Visualize taking in the pain of others and sending out love. With every breath, cultivate connectedness and healing. 3. Contemplation of impermanence. Reflect on endings in your life. Practice letting go. Observe the liberation that arises from acceptance. These exercises prepare the mind for the ultimate liberation, death without fear, while transforming how you live every day. Transformation through fearlessness. By living through the Bardos consciously, fear of death diminishes, life becomes rich, meaningful, and intense. Every moment shines with clarity and purpose. Imagine meeting death with courage and awareness, knowing it is not an end, but a natural passage. This shifts your entire relationship with life. Every decision, every encounter, every breath is lived fully. You no longer postpone living. You no longer cling to illusions. You move with intention, freedom, and grace. Bridging ancient wisdom and modern life science and philosophy increasingly converge with these ancient teachings. Neuroscience shows the brain's plasticity and capacity for awareness. Psychology reveals the transformative power of mindfulness and presence. Spiritual traditions remind us we are more than our bodies, thoughts, or emotions. By integrating these insights, life becomes a sacred journey, a series of mindful, intentional steps toward liberation and joy. Death is no longer the enemy. It is the teacher, the mirror, the guide. And in recognizing this, life itself becomes profoundly rich, meaningful, and liberating. Part X, Mastering the Bardos, Living Without Fear. Imagine a life where fear of death no longer grips you, where each moment, no matter how small, is infused with clarity and purpose. This is the promise of the Bardos, not just for the dying, but for the living, the art of conscious transition. Every transition in life is a doorway, waking from sleep, finishing a project, saying goodbye to a friend. Each is a portal to awareness. When we notice these transitions, we begin to train the mind to move through life's uncertainty with grace. The Tibetan texts call this turning every ending into a beginning. When you practice this consciously, fear dissolves, resistance softens, life flows like a river, natural and unforced. Cultivating the inner guide. Your inner guide is always present. It whispers in moments of doubt. It reminds you the clear light of consciousness is your true essence. It anchors you when the storm of fear or grief arises. By connecting with this guide, you begin to navigate life like a skilled sailor on an uncharted sea, calm amid waves, confident in your direction, seeing the illusions clearly. The Bardos teach that most suffering arises from illusion, attachment to outcomes, clinging to identity, fear of change. When you learn to see beyond these illusions, life becomes free, lucid, and unburdened. You begin to recognize that every challenge is a teacher, every loss a gateway. Daily practices for liberation, mindful breathing, focus on the inhale and exhale, watch thoughts and emotions arise and fade like clouds in the sky. Compassion, exchange, breathe in the pain of others. Exhale, love, peace, and healing. With every breath, you cultivate connectedness and inner strength, contemplating impermanence. Reflect on endings in your life. Practice letting go. Observe the liberation and clarity that comes from acceptance. These exercises are not just spiritual rituals. They prepare the mind for the ultimate passage, death without fear, while transforming the way you live every moment. living fully through the bardos. By embracing the bardos consciously, fear of death diminishes. Life becomes deep, intense, and meaningful. Every action, choice, and relationship is lived with focus and presence. Imagine meeting death with courage and awareness, knowing it is not an end but a transformation. This understanding radically shifts your relationship with life. You no longer postpone living. You no longer cling to illusions. Every moment becomes precious, sacred, and rich with meaning, integrating ancient wisdom and modern life. Modern science now echoes what the bardos have taught for centuries. Neuroscience shows our minds can expand and adapt through mindfulness. Psychology demonstrates the power of presence to transform emotional life. Spiritual traditions remind us we are more than our bodies, thoughts, or emotions. By combining these insights, life becomes a sacred practice, a journey of intentional awareness and joy. A radical invitation. The Tibetan Book of the Dead offers us a bold promise. Death is not the enemy. Death is the teacher. Death is the mirror reflecting our deepest truth. By seeing this clearly, life becomes vibrant, liberated, and extraordinary. Imagine approaching each day as if it were your last. Every breath becomes meaningful. Every choice carries weight. Every interaction is an opportunity to live fully and freely. This is the power of the bardos.